3, 2, 1. Just kidding. Yeah. Welcome to Standard Age Podcast. I'm sitting here with my man, Trevor of Pare Pare. If you are just tuning into this episode, please listen to the front half of this conversation over on Pare Pare. This is our holiday extravaganza that I am loosely calling it that.
I like that.
And the reason why it's an extravaganza is because this is basically a 2-hour-long discussion that we did not go Joe Rogan style and give it to you all in one fell swoop. We are dividing this whole conversation into two. The front 50% of this conversation is available on Pare Pare, as mentioned. And you are listening to the back half of this conversation. So please, you probably could listen to this out of order.
I think you could, but you shouldn't.
But you shouldn't. So go listen to Pare Pare and then come back here. Sorry for the work. But anyway, Trevor, great to see you.
Great to see you.
We're going to mosey right back into our conversation. Yeah. And we were talking about not Grail watches, Forever watches.
Forever watches.
Which are often Grails.
Yes. In the idea that, at least for me, and I think for you and a lot of listeners who will appreciate this, once you get to a place with your collection and you think about it with the rest of your finances and where you're at, you can't get it all.
Yeah.
And then what stays and what comes in, and the idea of not letting go of watches.
It's funny because this notion is actually related to what I said earlier on the first half about my GTI, whether or not to keep it. So like easily I could trade the GTI towards an Audi Avant.
Yeah.
Or do I keep it because I genuinely feel like it is the best GTI of all time?
Yeah.
Like a Mark 7 is the greatest, unless you're going like Mark 1 or you just like the design of the Mark 3.
Yeah.
You know, shout out Brian Scotto, like Mark III. Yeah. Great car, great design.
I do want to say something's popped into my head because I want to say this.
Yeah.
Of course, this is a money issue, but even when you have lots and lots of money to spend, people still, like Bruce Meyer sells cars.
I can't
Some
imagine.
of his cars.
Yeah.
You know, it happens. It happens.
I'm dying to go to that garage, which
I know,
were fortunate enough to visit recently.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, that just popped into my head. So it's not. It can be a space issue. It can be I'm not using it issue.
Right.
It's an all of it issue.
Well, so here's where I have trouble because there are watches in my watch box that I just frankly don't wear.
Yeah.
But like I feel like I can't get rid of them because of sentimental reasons.
Right.
Or it's like my wife, right? Like she'll like keep this random yellow t-shirt that she hasn't worn in 19 years, but she keeps it because she might need it one day. You know, what if there's like a Halloween costume that requires, I'm like, then buy another yellow t-shirt, you know? But you can't do that with watches, right? Like not always. Sometimes they're not available.
Sometimes they're not available, but also I find...
Or harder to find.
You could have had a great one, right? You had a great example. It worked well, kept great time. But then when you go back and get the same one, it doesn't. It may not be the same.
That's very true, especially in cars.
Especially in cars, yes.
Because you can't guarantee that oil leak is, you know, whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or like that, I don't know, whatever problem is a transmission issue.
Trying to replace something also in your brain, you're coming at it from, I remember it this way. This isn't how I remember it now. This one doesn't drive the same. This is why I think a lot of times you do hear people say you shouldn't have two of something, which I don't fully agree. Two of the same thing.
Oh, dude, like I have so many of the same shoes.
That's what I'm saying. In this instance, they would be talking about like cars.
Yeah, okay.
Like you shouldn't have two 2007.
I was gonna say my Vans in black.
Yeah.
Or like there's a constant rotation.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is more like
no, I know.
Or two of the same watch, which happens a lot of times for people.
One to rock, one to stock kind of thing.
No, I think sometimes people have like two, for instance. Recently, former guest of yours on your show, Morgan King, was on my show.
Yeah.
And he said at one point he had every reference of the Daytona 16520.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, and so that means he had overlap.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, for my birthday,
Yeah. Okay.
I
Here we go.
gifted myself a watch.
Oh boy, I'm really excited. And I have to say, for the people who obviously can't see this, you've been wearing your jacket and you've had it down. Like, I have no idea what's under there. I don't know.
All right, so this is watch number 1 that I brought today. I brought 2 watches.
Okay.
And what do you see?
Right now, I just see kind of a fabric type strap or maybe suede strap.
It's green suede.
Yeah.
To sort
But
of
I
match
can't
my jacket.
see anything else.
I don't know. So this is this is so stupid to do this way. But this is watch number 1.
Wow. That's beautiful.
So here, let me pass it over to you because you're across the table from me. We are recording at a beautiful Hilton property in Orange County. And we're in a conference room. And
Look
I'm
at
going
this.
to pass this over to one
Wow.
Trevor Wynn.
That's gorgeous. So tell me about this, because I don't know a lot about this watch.
This is a reference 308 IWC from 1942.
Wow.
They call it a 2-tone copper dial.
Whoa.
By all accounts, it's a salmon dial visually, but it is a copper dial. There is a hallmark on the bottom right lug that I've now reached out to both my friend James, IWC Vintage on Instagram, as well as Rich Forden, who just did a hallmark article for Odinky. And they both agree that it was imported to Portugal based on that hallmark. So kind of a rare case. The case has been polished like crazy. Like if you could see where the lugs are drilled, they are dangerously close to the top of the lug, which just means that case has been polished a bunch, which is fine. Find me another one, I mean, it's a sector dial looking Calatrava
It's
with
beautiful.
Arabic numerals.
The color of the dial is remarkable.
It's unbelievable. Like, honestly, it's a 38 millimeter watch, I believe by 8 millimeter thick, manual wound, integrated crown, which is one of my favorite parts of this piece. Extremely lightweight as a result. It is a stainless case.
You know what's interesting about it being 38 millimeters?
Yeah.
Because the entire case is kind of used and there's not like a bezel, right? It feels bigger.
Like the aperture is
Yeah.
large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dial takes up a lot of the watch. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's very IWC.
Yeah.
Yeah. For legibility, right?
Yeah.
Leaf hands. So very, very narrow leaf hands. There's a bunch of speckles on this dial.
Yeah,
I don't know
saw
if you
that.
noticed.
I did.
At certain angles, you can't even notice them. And then at other angles, they're abundantly clear. I'm really struggling with whether or not to potentially have the dial non-invasively cleaned, as one Greg Petronzi has said to me. I may or may not have that done just to get rid of some of that confetti, if you will. I haven't decided yet, but I've been obsessed with IWC for as long as I can remember. Many people understand this about me.
Yeah.
I've always wanted a vintage IWC, never
Yeah.
really knew which one to go after. I love, love, love the Chopard LUC. That's the salmon dial that they have
Yeah.
in their catalog currently,
Yeah.
which is, I think, a 37 millimeter, 36 and a half, depending on who you ask. The hands of that watch are the only thing I don't like about it, whereas there's nothing I don't like about this one. And it is a fraction of the cost. This exact watch, as it happens, was actually sold at Christie's in 2021.
Really?
Yeah. And so the gentleman I bought this from on Chrono 24, first time I'd ever bought anything on Chrono, it came from France.
Wow.
This guy said in his description, I bought this at Christie's, and I Googled it, and sure enough, it's the watch.
Wow.
Looks exactly the way it did in 2021.
What was the I'm kind of curious about that. Forgive me, I want to jump in.
Please.
Okay, so once you've decided through Chrono 24 that you want to make the purchase,
Yeah.
is there a certain procedure that they have, or is it up to you and the seller to decide how payment will be effectuated and all of
Oh,
that?
no, it's absolutely through the website. So basically what happens is, and again, I'm not well versed.
Yeah.
I've only done this once.
Yeah.
So basically, you agree to make payment and you pay via credit card or PayPal, I think they take. And I don't even know what other methods of payment, but I used a credit card. Basically, they hold it like, what's the terminology in real estate?
Escrow.
Escrow, thank you. Yeah, so basically the money's held in escrow the entire time. They ship you the watch. It has to go through customs, of course. I had to pay duties, which was really frustrating.
Then the duties go to the shipper? Who did you pay? Who did you pay?
UPS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shipper. Yes. Sorry. Yes. You are correct. Trump met with all these people, right, from the watch industry, a month ago?
Yeah.
To decrease the Swiss 39% import duty down to 15%.
Yeah.
Well, that legislation hasn't actually passed yet.
So it's
39%
still?
still
Whoa.
if you're importing from Switzerland.
And so
If you Google it,
Yeah.
it'll tell you 15%.
Okay, so I'm really curious about this because I haven't really gotten into this from anyone.
Sure.
So UPS, to get the watch, they say to you, you have to pay us 39% of the declared value.
Correct.
And without getting into this too much,
Yeah.
the declared value is set by the person who sent it.
Well, this is where things get even more interesting, because if the person sending it didn't create a pro forma invoice or any sort of invoice of any kind, it's up to me. So then I submitted paperwork. Shout out Mike from CT Watch Guy, Michael. He was instrumental in me getting this because he's done this a few times and very recently, mind you. And so he gave me the blank form because I asked the guy from France.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, listen, is there an invoice on there? And if so, what did you declare it as?
Right.
And he said, I'm just a personal seller. I'm not a business. So
Right.
no, there's no invoice on it. And so I was like, okay. So I submitted the paperwork and paid the 39%. But the watch arrived yesterday.
Wow.
And when I got home from LA, I opened the box and sure enough, yeah, I love it. I absolutely love this watch. And I think at first I ordered 2 new gray straps. I didn't own gray suede from Moleskine. So I ordered gray straps from Moleskine to go on this. I put them next to it, but I knew I'd be wearing this jacket today.
Looks
So I was like,
great.
well, would it look good on green? I put it on green. I was like, wow, this actually looks really good on green suede.
Is that a 26? Is that 20 down to 16, or is it 20 down to 18? Looks like 16.
16.
I like the 20. I like them both. I like the 20 down to 18. And I
Well,
like
your
the
wrist
20
is,
down
I
to
think, a little
16.
larger than mine. What,
Yeah.
what size is your wrist? Like
7.5.
Oh yeah, I'm a 6 3/4. So yeah, exactly.
That's nice.
I like the taper just due to wrist size.
It looks really good and it looks great with the jacket.
Thanks, man.
And the kind of the combo. You'll have to get some photos because obviously you take beautiful pictures.
Thank you.
And we'll post them
Sure.
for the show.
Yeah, totally. So what are you wearing?
I am wearing a Seiko Captain Willard.
Okay.
It is from roughly 1984.
Great.
It's a watch that I just love wearing.
Yeah.
You know, I've talked about this a lot, but it has a shape that's so strange when you first see it, right? It's got this,
It's like
the
a
crown
cushion.
is at 4 o'clock.
Yep.
It's a cushion, but then it's got this like extra kind of appendage. But then the more you wear it and the more you engage with it, it works. It's so simple. And I have it on like a period correct look and feel strap, but it's new. It's by that company called Uncle.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They do a great job of recreating the vintage straps
And bracelets.
and bracelets.
Yeah. I
And
did their
so-
like President Link bracelet
really for which watch?
for my old first Omega in space
Really?
that I sold years ago. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Great weight to this watch as well. Like it's got some serious heft. And
It
but
does. It does, but you should try it on because I know you were just saying that your wrist is slightly smaller than mine.
Yeah.
But it wears really nicely. At least I think for a flat wrist, it kind of sits well, even though it's big. I think it's 44 millimeters.
yeah, it has to be.
But yeah, I like this watch quite a bit. It's a watch that we have talked about how your IWC fills up the entire case.
Right.
This is a watch where look at this proportion of the dial to case.
Right.
The dial is like, what do you think? 70% of the case. It's a lot of case.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what's interesting about those Seikos too is that like the bezels are so similar throughout the years.
Oh, yeah.
And I just like that they don't mess with their design language.
Yeah, it's a watch I love. I used to have this watch on leather.
Yep.
And it had a totally different vibe on leather.
Oh, sure.
It's a lot more sporty on this rubber strap.
Yeah.
I took this watch to Europe. I had a great time with it. I think of it for that now.
Yeah,
Because, I don't usually buy in too much of the idea of like, you shouldn't travel with a certain watch. You should be careful. And
The opposite. Like they're meant to live with. Like you gotta experience life with these things. Like that's the whole point.
I agree. But then there was this moment that's like, it would happen to you where you wear your sub and then you get, robbed. That sort of thing. I
see.
try not to live in that world, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I do. But I did think, okay, I want to take one watch with me. We went to Portugal.
Right.
And speaking of Portugal, we went to Portugal.
Right.
And so you're like, I'll take this one.
Yeah.
And so I think of this kind of as a Portugal watch.
Well, and again, it's almost like we were talking earlier about the use case for a car. It is the use case for a watch. Like so my wife and I, we typically go to Hawaii once a year. We were married in Hawaii, and it's a very special place to us. We're about to take our daughter there for her first time. And I was thinking about this the other day, is like, what watch do I wear to Hawaii? Mm-hmm. And is it my OP no date because it was my wedding watch?
Yeah.
And I can swim in it and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then as I was discussing, I was actually having this conversation yesterday with our mutual friend Raymond.
Yeah.
At the Manx Cafe. And so we went there for lunch, and my buddy Will joined us, and we were talking about it, and I was just like, yeah, like, what do you wear in Hawaii? And he's like, well, you don't own a dive watch. And I was like, well, yeah, I do. I have a Black Bay 54, and you know what? I didn't even mention it yesterday, but I also have a Doxa. So, like, I could wear either one of those watches.
Okay. So much to unpack here.
Okay.
I want to start with the Black Bay 54. So this must be a watch that you don't really love then.
The Black Bay 54?
Yeah. Or you don't wear it that much? I'm trying to get the thinking of like, how did you forget about it? That's
well, it's
all.
not that. No, he asked if I owned a dive watch.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And so it was like, well, shoot, do I? And for some reason, I just don't think of watches as, like, when I think of a chronograph, I don't think of it as a car watch, right? Or a racing watch. So like, I don't think of the Black Bay 54 necessarily as a dive watch. I just think of it as my tutor. Because it's the only tutor I own.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Doxa, because I also don't dive.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think of it as a dive watch. I think of it as a definitely a water resistant watch, and something I can do anything in. Mm-hmm. So yeah, maybe I'll take a few watches. I went from yesterday thinking I should only take one to now, like, now that I'm thinking about it, the Doxa needs to go to Hawaii, right? Like,
before we elaborate on the Hawaii piece, you posted a photo from, is this photo from
Manx
the
Cafe?
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a photo of a beautiful reel-to-reel system that's set up with vintage Macintosh equipment.
Yep.
And I saw this and I was like, where is that? Because I love vintage audio equipment.
Totally. Yep.
And I was thinking, man, that looks really cool. And now we know where it is.
Yeah. Peterson Automotive Museum has a cafe inside called the Manx, named for the Myers Manx, which is, the little dune buggy.
Yeah. And where are you going in Hawaii?
Maui.
Maui.
Yeah. We
Nice.
always
I've never
go.
been to
Well,
Maui.
not always. Like we usually go to Maui. If we go to the Big Island or like Oahu, we usually jump over to Maui for a portion of it too. It sounds so pretentious, but like, whatever.
It's all good.
Yeah. It's great. We love
Hawaii
it.
is awesome.
My wife's been going since high school. So like,
Well, so this is fascinating, and you'll also appreciate this because we grew up on the other coast.
I had no reason to go to
Going
Hawaii.
to Hawaii
So far.
It's so far. First of all, it's extremely far. Some of the islands are very far from California.
Oh yeah.
But like to go to Hawaii from North Carolina is insane. That's a long way.
It's literally closer to Europe.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
North Carolina.
Yeah, so you would go to like for instance, growing up, we went to islands like Barbados or Turks and Caicos.
Oh sure.
Because they're close.
I never went to the Caribbean until last year.
Okay, so that's a little weird.
Yeah.
Because this is what I was going to say. The parallel is in California, going to the Caribbean is really far.
Far.
And we did a family trip with my folks and my family a few years ago to Barbados.
Yeah.
And it was really far.
Yeah.
We had to go to Miami. I mean, usually you have to go to Miami, but you have to go all the way to Miami. Then you got to go all the way to where you're going. It's a lot.
Yeah. Totally.
It takes up a lot of the travel time.
And my grandparents had a beach house, which was now my parents have it since they passed, and it's in South Carolina. So it was like
Where in South Carolina?
we had it's North Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like North
But it's
Myrtle.
been there since, I don't know, I think they bought that place in the late 60s. It's been there forever. And so Myrtle wasn't then what it is now. But funny enough, I haven't even been to that house in 20 years.
Really?
Which is, I've been here for 20 years
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
So it's like when I go home to Raleigh, I'm not going to Myrtle Beach, right? When I have Laguna right here,
I get it.
So anyway, so yeah, we're going to Maui.
Yeah.
First time for baby Kaya. I can't wait. Excited for that. Excited to see how she reacts to life over there. And
Wow.
it'll be fun. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. But yeah. So speaking of Raymond, there was a transaction he and I have been working on for roughly 2 months.
Is this where the second watch is coming
This is where the second watch is coming in.
in? Okay.
And so it's in my pocket,
All right.
and I'll pass it to you. It's in a one watch pouch. It's actually the only thing I
This is a
bought
great pouch.
at Hodinkee 10, which was the 10-year anniversary of Hodinkee back in 2019-ish.
I'm trying to feel it to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's a watch you're very familiar with, but I've never owned one, and I'd always wanted one. And
Okay. All right. All right. So I have to go back now because
Trevor just saw it.
when it might have been in the first episode or first part of the show, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm so flabbergasted now. This is going to be my guess, but I didn't want to say,
thought it was gonna be your
I didn't want to say, oh, did you get a 16520 Daytona? And then you're like, no, actually I didn't, but that would have been cool.
Right.
But you did.
I knew you were going to guess that watch.
Oh man, this is remarkable.
We've
You did
talked-
it.
We've talked
Yeah.
about this a lot.
Man, this is
Now, before we jump to conclusions, folks, I did not just shell out cash for a Zenith
This is
Daytona with a
great.
white dial, even though it's my favorite Daytona of the last 40 years is this watch.
yeah.
And
Wait,
I've-
what's the story then?
The story of my appreciation for this watch.
No. Of you said
how
you
I
didn't.
got it?
Yeah.
I basically traded my modern Pepsi.
Okay. I was wondering about that because not never. That's a bit over the top. You don't really wear that one.
So that watch I've worn in spurts. Like that's the kind of watch where, like, usually I trade my watches in and out. Like I rotate them every couple days. Whereas like when I would wear the Pepsi, and And famously, like my dad and I shared the Batman, right? So
Yeah.
this last visit, when my dad came to see me, my parents came to visit and meet our daughter for the first time back in August. He brought the Batman.
Yeah.
And is like, look, man, he's like, Wesley, I never wear this watch. Like, you should just hang on to this.
Yeah.
So so I strapped the Batman on my wrist, which I've been wearing a ton recently. And I just feel so much better wearing the Batman than the Pepsi.
Yeah.
Pepsi being on Jubilee, Pepsi being red and blue, it's a
Yeah.
little louder.
It's loud.
And it just like that bracelet just glimmers, you know? And for whatever reason, experientially, I can't even say that word, the experience of wearing the modern Pepsi on Jubilee, as much as I love that watch,
Yeah.
I would just find like this like subconscious visceral feeling that like I wasn't wearing the watch for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does. And
Then I talked to Raymond about this and I was like, Raymond, I'm looking at the market on a modern Pepsi and it's eerily close to my favorite Daytona that I've wanted since 1999.
Right.
And he said, dude, you have no business owning two modern GMTs.
So that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that. So now that your dad has passed the watch to you to wear, at least for the foreseeable future,
Right.
it's very duplicative. You made an amazing trade,
Yeah.
if you will, or if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
This is, you know how much this watch means to me. It's a
Well, we've
piece-
talked about this, even offline.
Oh, yeah. It is a piece that is tremendous. I want one. I think it's great. To think that you took your Pepsi and turned it into this, that's a win.
Major move.
That's a win.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I did the right thing, even with my catch-up phone call with Gabe Riley yesterday. And Gabe, for those who don't know him, is the co-founder with Asher Rapkin of Collective Horology. Both have been on this podcast before. If you haven't heard those shows, please go back and listen to them because they're just the best dudes. Gabe said something similar, Trevor. He's like, this was the right decision.
It's so well balanced. And also, when you think about how many Rolex sport models are with a white dial,
Yeah.
it's
Very few.
very, very few.
And my dad doesn't wear the Batman because he's too busy wearing his Explorer 2 polar dial.
Exactly.
So,
Well, that's a good reason not to wear the Batman.
yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled with this piece. I waited debatably, arguably 27 years, 26 years.
Yeah.
And then for those who haven't heard that story, I was working at Banana Republic on the upstairs level
Yeah.
of Crabtree Valley Mall in Raleigh, North Carolina in 1999. And this gentleman walks in, and it was almost probably 26 years borderline to the day because it was the holiday season.
Yeah.
And so this guy walks in with a small black bag from Garibaldi and Bruns, which is the same shop I got my Swiss Army watch from when I graduated high school. Same group. It was, I think I technically bought the Swiss Army watch in Asheville where I was in school, but maybe it was Crabtree. I can't remember actually. It's going back almost 30 years, so I can't remember. But anyway, 99, guy walks in, small bag. So of course I'm asking, like, hey buddy, you about to get engaged? Like, this is exciting, you know? Didn't know this guy. He was just a random guy who came in Banana. And he's like, no, man, I got a watch. I was like, what? I was like, you bought yourself a watch? He goes, yeah, I waited 6 months for this watch.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wait, you waited 6 months to buy a watch? What, like you had to save up for it? And he's like, well, yeah, there's that. But I was also like, this is the beginning of wait lists.
Right.
Is this piece. And technically, I think this is a W series serial. So I believe it's 95. I think the W serial was only made for 1 year. So even though the gentleman in 1999 may or may not have had solid end links, I can't remember. I don't think it was a P serial in 99 yet, but it may have been. A serial maybe. There's like 9 different serials for the Zenith Daytona. But I knew I wanted... the boxes I wanted to tick were Zenith,
Yeah.
white dial,
Yeah.
tritium,
Yeah.
unpolished. I feel like I'm leaving one out. I can't remember. Hollow end links. I wanted the
jangly.
lighter weight, jangly.
Yeah.
I wanted it to feel more vintage, which is why I like the 997.1
Right.
over the .2. I wanted the more like incandescent bulb taillights.
Yeah. I think the
feels more
tail lights
vintage.
are so good.
So yeah, I wore this all day yesterday after getting it.
It's really good. And now
I
that
do not regret it.
Yeah.
And also,
No.
it was one of those things where the second I put it on my wrist, by the way, Raymond found this on the East Coast. It's unpolished. It's everything. It ticked all the boxes that I just listed. And the second I put it on my wrist, I actually was with Nick Calico, who was with me as well during one of my meetings to visit the watch before we figured out the deal.
Yeah.
And they both agreed, as do I. Like the second it was on my wrist, it just looked like my watch. Like
Yeah. There's certain watches that just fit.
it looks like I've owned it for 20 years.
It does. It does.
It's a very me watch.
It's
And
so good.
Yeah, so that guy walked into Banana Republic, and ever since then, I've like always in the back of my mind. And I've never owned a Daytona before, modern or otherwise. So this is my first Daytona.
Yeah.
And it was actually the first Daytona I ever knew about, because prior to 1999, I didn't know anything about Rolex chronographs.
There are moments like that shape you and that stay with you about either cars or watches, something getting it in your mind. When I first moved to LA, I had a friend, same, who wore a 16610 Submariner. So Tritium 1991 with the date. And I had never been around people who had Submariners before.
Sure.
And this was a watch that he got from his dad, and now he wears it. And in that moment in 2012, I was like, I want a Submariner. And, and that's for me the origin of having that in my brain of a 5-digit Submariner.
Totally.
And he still has the watch. And I'll show you a picture. This is an amazing picture. He came over a couple weeks ago, and he was wearing the watch. And I took a couple side-by-sides with my tutor. And what I love about that period is the watches are just so simple. And
Well, you have a sub, right?
I do. So I have the non-date later version of the 14060.
Right.
But I had this next to my tutor sub. But the watch is just so good. And you ask yourself, what has changed with these watches? And we both have modern GMTs. So I don't feel like I'm picking on the modern stuff.
Do you have a 1675?
No. I have
for some reason thought you did.
I have the modern like GMT Master 2, the current production. If you want to hear the full name, I can tell you. It's a 126713 GRNR.
No, I knew you had
It's
that.
easy to say,
But I
right?
thought you had a vintage GMT too.
No. Sometimes I borrow my buddies, but he's selling it, so
Oh, is he?
yeah.
Got it. Yeah, it's just, and here's another
That's
interesting.
1675, by the way.
Sure.
But I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
the 16750.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying.
The Submariner thing is an interesting one because I have the Black Bay 54. I had the original Black Bay Black that I sold. So one of the major reasons why I got the 54 is because I missed the old one.
Yeah.
And I love that snowflake. I can't help but think of Ace Ventura whenever I hear snowflake. But anyway, so the interesting thing about the sub is, for longtime listeners, like I had a 5513.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right?
You got that one from Ken, right?
I did, yeah. One of my watch. Actually, the day I picked it up was the day I recorded with Ken.
That's a great episode.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was an enjoyable one, needless to say. And if you haven't heard his most recent recording on collectability with John Reardon, another great conversation.
Another great conversation, but I do have to give him a little jab which is he has not done my show.
Ken?
No,
Really?
He's very shy. He's very shy.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to do these things. And he texted me a while back, and he's like, "You're not gonna be happy, but I'm doing another podcast." And I was like,
He'll
"Okay,
do
that's
yours.
fine.
He'll do
That's
yours.
fine. You can do a bigger show."
Well-
What I really enjoy about it is people reaching out to him and saying, "You taught me this or this. You were a cog in my wheel of getting to where I love watches." And
Yeah.
because I think for a lot of times with people, they get hung up in their head and they think people don't care about them or whatever. So it's nice for him to get that feedback of like, "Oh, you meant a lot to me," and he's getting his flowers. As
Yeah,
they
he's
say.
he's the beginning of so many people's journey.
Yeah.
And I'd never owned a sub before, and I'd always been a minimalist when it came to like the text on the dial. I was
Yeah.
always like a 2-line guy.
Yeah.
And no date. So I bought that from Ken, and I wore it a lot on bracelet and a lot on a brown suede strap, and they both look great. And every time I wore, but I tell you what, the longer I owned that watch, the more it became like that Pepsi, where it's like, this just doesn't feel like a Wesley watch, and I don't know why. And I can't explain it. It's like literally just like a visceral,
Yeah.
you look down and I felt like I was wearing somebody else's watch, right? And it's just one of those things. And I've always longed for having a red 1680. Well, while I was visiting and picking up the Zenith yesterday,
Okay.
there's a red 1680 at Oliver and Clark.
Okay.
Incredible condition. And I was like, God, I love these things. So I put it on just to try it on.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, man, it's not me. Like after as many times as I've tried one on and I've been giddy about it,
Sure.
I gotta be real with myself, right? Like,
Yeah.
as we all should. The red 1680 is my grail sub, but I don't think I ever will own it because I just don't like it on my wrist. So there's something about the Submariner that I just don't jive with. As much as I will see one on your wrist, I will see one on Raymond's wrist, whoever has one. And it always looks killer.
Yeah.
A vintage one always looks amazing. Like I was watching this like UBS content that Hodinkee was producing. And Ben Clymer owns a 5512.
Yeah.
Unbelievable watch.
Yeah.
Looks so sick. But it will never be in Wesley Smith's collection. I mean, never say never, but like I've been in this game long enough to know that like it's probably never. Which is so strange.
I get what you mean about, and you have to know yourself.
Yes.
And you have to understand what you're interested in and what you're not interested in.
Like a modern Daytona is just not me.
Right.
The black dial, not me. And I have tons of black dial watches.
Yeah. You have to have your own point of view, I call it, and not just what people think is cool or what, if you read some article that's like 5 watches you should own before you die.
Well, I said this on my show years ago, I think, whereas like, I mentioned the first Omega in space earlier. And that watch, many will argue, a la the types of articles that you're just referencing, is everybody should own a Speedmaster.
Yeah.
Well, I went through all of the variations of Speedmaster, and there are a lot.
Yeah.
And the first Omega in space is the one I settled on. To this day, it's still my favorite. I'm a sucker for alpha hands. It's 39.7 millimeters, so it's a little smaller. It's still kind of a chunky monkey, but not that legible, first and foremost. Second of all, I needed to make room. And it was one of those things where like, oh, do I need this? Do I want this? Do I have to have it? And I just started to feel like part of the ownership was that article-based mentality, let's call it in quotes. Everyone has to have one to be considered an enthusiast or whatever. It's like the guy driving in LA doesn't make you an enthusiast, right?
Yeah.
So like owning a Speedmaster doesn't make you an enthusiast. It's a great one watch. It is,
I've never owned one. I liked them quite a bit. I always thought I would get like an early 90s one. I think those have a lot of the hallmarks of the era that I quite enjoy. Also, I think they're extremely, extremely reasonable in that price point because let's not kid ourselves. A lot of the early ones, Pre-Moon, Ed Whites, they're substantial money.
Yeah.
And that's not where I'm at for that watch. But I will probably own a early 90s Speedmaster at some point.
So if you're doing the math, you will understand that I took delivery of 2 watches in one day yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But the story gets I almost got a 3rd watch yesterday.
What was that?
And I was on my way home.
This is crazy.
And I stopped at South Coast Plaza.
Yeah.
That new Tag Heuer glass box chronograph. See, I'm a chronograph guy at the
Yeah.
end of the day, right?
Yeah, I think you will.
And
I
so
think of you as a chronograph guy for sure.
I stop at the tag store. They just came out with that Fragment Design collab. And I had to go see it. And I went to look at it.
Yeah.
Several of the people who were at the launch bought it on the spot. And I'm friends with some of those people, and I was DMing them this same day. And they were like, dude, it's sick. It's incredible, blah, 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 blah. Well, I went, I tried it on. They had one. So if you're listening to this, I doubt they have it anymore because this episode's going to drop in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And so I tried it on. It wasn't for me. Didn't like the bracelet. Don't like that 7-link bracelet on the glass box. Not to say that I don't like the glass box. I think the reverse panda is going to be the move if I ever get one. And I will have it on a black strap if I ever feel the need to buy one. The 7-link wasn't for me. And then the Fragment Design, the bezel's white, or like the tachymeter scale. It's very, very stark white, way brighter in person than I thought. Well, the Tag Boutique's next to Omega. And what's funny is I wanted to go in Omega and try on the new. This was another Myers-Manx Cafe conversation we had yesterday. I really want to try on the new first Omega in space, or the most recent, let's call it.
Yeah.
It's a blue dial. It's got that flat link bracelet, which wasn't offered on mine. Mine was only offered on strap. And I wanted to go in there and try it on.
Yeah.
Well, they were having a freaking private event, so I couldn't go do it. So anyway, didn't get a 3rd watch yesterday. Not that I was like, I mean, it was just like,
That would have been crazy.
yeah. Well, I mean, again, like the one on my wrist, the IWC right now, it was like not $1 million,
Sure.
let's say. And then the Zenith was not an even trade. I mean, it was a couple of grand extra, let's call it. So I had spent enough
You'd
money
already
recently.
spent the money, yeah.
But like, could I have made it happen? Technically, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, a credit card swipes, right? So like, but like again, back to the earlier discussion of being irresponsible.
Yeah.
It would have been irresponsible. So thank God I didn't like it, so that I didn't even further be tempted to be irresponsible.
So not to steal your exact question, but to steal your exact question, which watch did you wear the most this year?
Probably my Longa.
Yeah. So when I first started getting to know you and understanding who you are, I saw you as an IWC guy,
Oh no, 100%.
like very IWC, which I love. Which again, I want to show you something as well that I'm borrowing right now that I'm quite obsessed with.
Oh, sweet.
And I have an IWC. I
Yeah,
have
the gold one.
I have a gold Mark 12.
You got it from Adam, right?
Yeah, I love that watch. That watch makes me very happy. It's so well balanced, and you get the weight of the gold. And since it's not on bracelets, it's on leather. I really like watches on straps. I'm kind of a strap guy.
That I've become that.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was in John Mayer's Talking Watches. He was
Okay.
talking about that. It's like when you get into straps, you know you're in trouble. I think. And speaking of Daytona, what's your Grail Daytona?
16520.
Okay, so not a 4-digit.
Well, okay. There's
Grail.
Grail. There's levels to this.
And there's like Halo.
And then there's like Dreaming. I mean, I would love just a big red Daytona with
Black dial.
black dial, like the one I posted yesterday. I would love that watch, but I'm not gonna, I don't see that happening for me.
6263 black dial,
yeah.
big red. That is unbelievable watch. I love that watch.
125,000.
And it's a non-Paul Newman, which, by the way, call this a hot take coming from me or not. The Paul Newman thing is so overrated. Like those indices don't make that big of a difference visually to warrant the price tag, in my opinion.
It's a hype thing.
Does it look cool? Sure. But would I get that watch for
I think I'd rather.
fourth the price or whatever it is,
Yeah.
a third? Absolutely.
Yeah.
If for no other reason, not to be too precious with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I have no business owning $100,000 watch right now, but
Right. So that's kind of what I'm getting. So yeah, on the not affordable, excuse me, wrong word. Achievable grail, it would be a 16520.
Yeah.
But I'm not sold on whether it be black or white dial.
interesting.
I'm not sold
Well,
yet.
there's like the Patrizi dial,
Yeah,
which
those
a
are
lot of
so
people like
good.
those.
I love those.
There's like, for me, this was it. It was the white dial all the way. And even with like the new one, I think I would, if I were to get a new one, which is not on my radar, I'd go white.
If you were able, so you can't flip it.
Which is
right?
funny because all the 4 digits I like in black dial. Oh, that's not true. Like a 6239, 6241 Panda, like legit Panda, meaning no Daytona. Like, phew, so good.
If Rolex called you and they said, Wesley, you can come into our boutique and get a modern Rolex that we offer right now.
Yeah.
You have to pay for it, whatever it costs, and you can't sell it.
Yeah.
You can't like pick a Daytona because then you can flip it. Which one are you picking?
The one that no one talks about, it's a white gold black dial Daytona with the white gold bezel.
Black. One more time. You lost me.
White gold, white gold bezel,
Yeah.
black dial.
And is it on
It's
a
on
bracelet? Ooh. That
And it's
sounds
also
ridiculous.
offered on Oyster Flex as well. Silver subdials.
Okay, so I think I've seen a version of that on Oyster Flex.
It's the best one in the current catalog, in my opinion.
I think a lot about the idea of juxtapositions.
But it's 50 grand.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. That's the caveat. You got to shell out the 50.
But I wouldn't sell it. You know, I mean,
No, that's fine. That's
that
fine.
would be my black dial Daytona.
Okay.
Which is also half the price of the one you just showed me, and I get to bang the crap out of it. Well, it's white gold, so I wouldn't do that. But
I often think about the idea in watches of juxtapositions that shouldn't really happen. They don't make sense, right? Like an all gold Submariner.
sure,
That's kind of weird.
jewelry.
Yeah. A Oyster Flex Daytona is kind of, for me in my brain, somewhat in that box, but it works so well. The Oyster Flex is it's like wearing butter.
It's so comfortable,
good.
but
It's
here's
so comfortable.
here's where my brain goes counterintuitive with that whole philosophy. I associate a rubber strap with a dive watch. So why don't they have like a platinum Submariner on an Oyster Flex?
Great question.
rubber
Why is there
strap-
no Oyster Flex option for a Submariner?
A rubber strap is a dive component,
Right.
in my opinion. Or in my case, with my Marin watch,
Yeah.
not an expensive watch. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it is.
Yeah.
It's on rubber. That's my surf watch. I wear that in the ocean.
That's kind of what I'm getting at, though. It's like,
Doxa, same thing. Rubber strap or on bracelet. Why a Daytona comes on a rubber strap is strange to me.
this is my whole point. And then you're taking, when you look at a watch, right? There's something kind of interesting about, I'm paying for the whole watch, or I'm paying mostly for the head. So when you think of the price of an Oyster Flex Daytona, there's no discount for the fact that you're not getting a bracelet.
Not really. I think there is a price difference, but it is far from significant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's interesting. Instead of getting if you were talking about you could get that on bracelet or rubber. So you're talking about precious metal all through the bracelet. That's money. That's value.
Dude, can you imagine a platinum Submariner with that pale blue dial? Like
And a
the way
rubber
a Daytona
strap?
is?
On an
And
Oyster
have
Flex?
like a brown bezel?
Yeah.
Take the spec of a platinum Daytona
Yeah.
and move it into a Submariner. That's a
That'd be
gnarly
sick.
watch.
Yeah. You know what mine would be? I want a 36 millimeter beige OP.
Okay, so I tried the pistachio on yesterday for the first time.
What'd you think?
Unreal.
Right.
Unreal in person.
Think about
I would
that.
totally buy that.
Think about that. We are enthusiast.
Mint green Datejust fluted Jubilee from my dad is the watch I've been trying to hunt down for him as like a retirement gift.
Wow, that'd be amazing. But back to the OP, right? We are enthusiasts. There's a lot of enthusiasts out there.
That dial color would be killer on you.
Yeah, we really get into the weeds of these things. And to think the entry model, which I think is fair to say,
Yeah.
Rolex is one in 36 because I like the size. That's one of the most basic things they make. However, it is so good what they're doing. It is one of their most in-demand pieces. That's kind of crazy to think about.
That's the Chronometra Blue from FP Journe.
Yeah.
That's the story.
But this is at
Now that's a $60,000 watch. It used to be 18.
Right, but this is a watch that Rolex, if you can get it, is selling for 7-ish, 8,000, something like that.
6,800 or something.
That's crazy.
That's
so crazy.
Actually, it's more like 50, I think it's like 67
something like that.
bucks. Yeah.
And to be clear, I would get a pistachio. I would get. You see that new blue they're doing? I mean, there's like that line is so good, and even back when they were doing the green one, like that's crazy to think that they're able to just nail it even at their entry point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, you have good product and you have good product, and it will change. I like to think this about my T-shirts.
Yeah.
Changing the color, right?
Yeah.
Is you still get a great product and a cool color.
Yeah.
And it's different.
Tell me about the photography that you're offering now.
Oh, okay. So this was born. Thank you for asking. That's nice. Yeah, it was born out of just being like, hey, would you sell your photography ever? Or can I buy your photography? And the answer ostensibly was no.
Right.
And so over the last couple of years, I'd been marinating, and, you know, I on my Instagram post, I was talking about like imposter syndrome and like how like I already feel sort of like a fraud, you know, like the imposter syndrome of like owning this brand and trying to make things that people will want and things like that. But again, I think when it stems from it's less of an imposter syndrome when coming to apparel, because it's like I'm making product that I know that I want.
Yeah.
Now, granted, yes, that's a photograph that I knew I wanted to take.
Right.
But to assume that it's sellable is a different level of imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I launched with this image of the pontoon on my car inside of my garage just a couple days ago. The funny thing is I'll be full disclosure. The response has been great verbally, but financially, it's not been great.
Well, I think it takes some time to get these things out. But one thing that was affirming to me, I know your photography is great. I know that.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Some of the, like sometimes I remember, it's weird things that stick out, but you know, you took this trip to Napa a few years where you went to Faust.
Oh, sure.
And you just like flooded, and I mean flooded because it was so many, just like shot after shot that could make, it could be its own book.
Thanks, man.
I felt like I was at Faust.
Well, so funny you should say that, because I actually produced a book for my wife and for the other couple that we traveled with to
for
Asia.
that? Oh, no.
To
Oh,
Asia.
sorry.
So I have like this book that lives on the shelf in our kitchen.
Yeah.
Like for whatever reason, it's next to our cookbooks, but
Yeah.
we just keep it here. And it is literally a photo book that I went through, I don't know, Shutterfly or I can't remember the brand. Not sponsored. So the thing was we traveled to Japan together, and then they bought a home just before that trip. So as their housewarming gift, I thought I would like make a book for them for their new home about this vacation we took to Japan and Korea. It was great.
Yeah.
It was also crazy expensive.
Yeah.
So for like me to produce a book,
Right.
that is a whole different can of worms. So what's interesting is I haven't thought about the Napa trip, but I do recall taking some photos that I was fairly proud of, right?
Yeah, they were
So
great.
maybe I'll revisit those photos and maybe incorporate those as ones that will be on offer in the future.
You should. But what I wanted to put the loop, because I got distracted. What I was going to say is Bart Bart, the famous photographer
I
who
just
shoots Porsches.
exchanged messages with him yesterday.
He reposted your post.
Yeah, which is
and
awesome.
I think Bart is probably, no offense to you, the best working photographer in cars.
I mean, he is a photographer. I take photographs.
And to see that he's appreciating your photography, it warmed my soul.
I immediately DM'd him and was like, thank you.
Yeah.
And I actually own books of his.
Yeah, I have several of his books.
Yeah. So, he's the man. And he's hopefully going to come back and do a book event sometime soon.
I went to his event that he did for the zine. And I want to make sure I get this right because
like I just got his 10-year book.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to plug.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm saying, do you have it in hand?
No, it's like literally on its way.
I got it as well.
Yeah, oh sweet.
I'm excited.
Do you have it in your hand?
No.
Okay, it's on its way.
It's on its way.
Okay, sick.
But what I don't know is it pre-order? Is it ready? I'm not sure. I got a notification saying it's like ready to ship. So
okay.
I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, I didn't see that email, but I'm excited for that book. I have the one that he launched in Chicago. I guess it was a little over a year ago. I got that one from him in person. He signed it for me, which was great. Yeah, dude.
He's awesome.
Bart's the man.
Shout out to Bart.
Yeah, well, just wrapping up here. Is there any watch that's not being made that you wish were being made?
Ooh. Man, that's a little tough.
I have one.
Yeah, actually, this is kind of going to be out of left field because I don't usually gravitate towards the crazy stuff. But I'd love to see a blue steel Aquanaut.
Oh, like the Japan edition
Yeah.
from the 5065?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sick watch.
Yeah.
Tim Green's got that watch.
Tony.
The original one. Well, he posted Tim's.
Tony Traina post.
Right.
That's what I was about
Actually,
to say.
that's funny. Yeah.
And when you see those original ones in blue, it's just mind-boggling.
Well, you love that blue.
I love
That's
blue.
a very similar to the Tudor blue.
I love that blue.
That's great.
Yeah, great observation. 100%.
Yeah.
They did.
You know what's funny? I never thought about the
gold
platinum.
version.
Like, if I were to answer my own question, I didn't even think about a platinum Submariner. By the
You
way,
would have- yeah.
I wouldn't buy that watch anyway, but I think
Yeah.
it'd be cool if they made it. But really, the answer would be like a modern version of the IWC I just bought. I'd
would be
kill
cool.
for that watch.
Well, you have the original.
I mean, it would be amazing if I had like the modern version of this, and just to see what they would do with the case. You know, like how, like the actual like the bezel, if you will, or the actual case shape, and then these numbers, the Arabic numerals of this watch are very IWC still. Like my pocket watch from IWC has Breguet numerals, which is a very rare occasion that they would ever use those because it's not very IWC.
Right.
It's very Breguet.
Very Breguet.
But yeah, can you imagine this brand new? That would be so
be
sick. I don't know, man. Prayer hands are profusely up in the air repeatedly for something like that to come to fruition.
This has been awesome.
Trevor, thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time. I'm glad we met in the middle.
Yeah.
On a Saturday morning, no less.
Yeah, we got our full day left.
Yep.
You know, it's the weekend. I'm feeling great. Really excited.
Happy holidays to everybody.
Happy holidays.
Because this is going to come out
On the 23rd.
23rd. You're right. 23rd is the Tuesday.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Awesome.
Can't wait to share this. This was awesome, man.
Cheers, man.
Thank you, buddy. This wraps up this episode of the Standard H podcast. If you like what you heard, I'd love it if you'd share it with a friend or two. And if you have a moment, please rate and review the show as it helps others discover these episodes. It absolutely helps far more than you realize. Shout out to Jensen Reed and Super Beautiful for the theme track. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.